Hi Drew, my name is Ananya Guba and I'm the patrol leader of the Girl Troop 219. And besides from scouting, I'm also the ASB activities coordinator in my middle school. I have a question for you. You're often considered the best on some of your earliest trims, even going number one in the 1993 NFL football draft. How did you stay focused on getting better even when it may have seemed that you were already the best?
Well, that's a great question. Ananya, I think I'm getting your name right, Ananya. But how do you improve on success? When things have gone really well, how do you continue to improve? That's a really cool question. And it's something that we talk a lot about in our business because our business has been very successful. We've got a fantastic team. They make great wine for us. Business has gone really well for us. But we talk pretty actively about how are we going to continue to improve on success because it is a harder task. When you fail, it's pretty easy to improve. Don't do that again. But when you've had success, how do you keep striving to get better and better? And what we look for is we look at every single thing that we do in our business and we ask ourselves, is that the best it could possibly be? And if it is, then we leave it alone. If it's not the very best it could possibly be, then we'll look at ways that we can incrementally improve that. It was pretty easy in football because we just go watch the film, and they always like to tell us the film don't lie, right? You go watch the film, and you look at what you did, and you can improve each week whether you won or whether you lost. And so we strive to do that in our business as well. But that's a really great and very important question, Ananya. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kate Ryan. I am a patrol leader for Troop 219. Funnily enough, my dad was born in Buffalo and he wanted to say hello. And I had a question for you. When a football game is challenging or you are losing motivation, how do you stay resilient in what you do?
Kate, thanks for that. And tell your dad I said hi. Go Bills. We love playing in Buffalo. Uh, your question: how do you stay resilient? It's hard sometimes. It really is hard sometimes. When you get knocked down, it's hard to get back up. But for me, as a football player, it was always one of the things I took the most pride in. I always got up and I always got back on the field for the next play. Whether I got knocked down, whether I threw an interception, I always got up and got back on the field and strived to go forward. But it was hard sometimes. But one of the things you can do that is take pride in being that kind of person. Take pride in doing the hard stuff. And if you do that, the easy stuff will come at some point.
Hi, Drew. My name is Anthony from Troop 275. Outside of Boy Scouts, I'm a football player for the Pasco High School Bulldogs. And what was your biggest influence to pursue football and make it to the NFL?
It's a good question, Anthony. And hey, good luck to the Bulldogs. You're a big rival of ours when I was back playing for the Blue Devils, but I guess I'm cheering for you now, unless you're playing the Blue Devils. My biggest influence to pursue football was probably my dad. My dad was a football coach growing up, and so I grew up running around on the high school football field, and it was kind of something I always wanted to do. But I also was when I was growing up, I was never just into one thing at a time. I was into one thing at a time, but I was never into just one thing. Played basketball, skied a bunch, ran track, played baseball. I was even a swimmer when I was a young kid. So I was involved in a lot of different things, but football was always kind of a dream for me. That's a good question, man. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Thomas Saavedra. I'm in Troop 28, 128, and my question is, what is harder, reading a defense or grapes?
So that's a good question, Thomas. What's harder, reading a defense or making wine? The interesting thing, and I touched on it a little bit, when I was talking earlier, in some ways it can be pretty similar because at a high level, it's about the same kind of disciplines that allow you to be great at anything in life. Hard work, dedication, perseverance, adaptability, all of those things are similar. The hardest thing, though, in wine, when I was playing football, if I threw a pass, I knew immediately if it was a good decision or a bad decision. If our guys caught the ball, that was a good decision. If their guys caught the ball, it was a bad decision. In wine, things take a long, long time, man. You plant a vineyard, you don't have any grapes for 3 years, and you have 2 years to make the wine and another 2 years for it to age. And so sometimes it can be up to a decade before you know whether you made a good decision or a bad decision. And so that's the hardest part. That's the biggest difference. But anyway, thanks for the question, Thomas. I appreciate it.
Hello, Drew. I'm Navan Nune. an ASPL from Troop 190 of Richland, Washington. I want to ask you a question about leadership. As you have been a quarterback for nearly 14 years and led your team through success and hardship, what is one experience that you want to share with us that would not only help us in our scouting career, but our whole life? Thank you.
That's a big question, Devon. Man, there's so many experiences from football that I went through that kind of helped shape who I am, and I'll share one with you because it's actually was just in the news here recently because it was the 20-year anniversary. Not a great anniversary necessarily for me, but it also ended up being a pretty cool thing. So I've been the quarterback for the Patriots for 8 years, and we're starting our 9th season. It was right after 9/11. And I got hurt. I got hurt bad. I was in the hospital for 6 days, and then wasn't allowed to do anything for a couple months at all because I had some internal bleeding and stuff, and almost died. But when I came back, there was this young kid who you might have heard of, Tom Brady, who was my backup quarterback. And while I was hurt, he'd been playing really well, and the team had been winning. And so when I got healthy and got back, I thought I was going to get my job back. And when I got back, turns out my job wasn't there anymore. And so this Brady kid had become the quarterback and had now had the job that had been mine for so many years. And that was a really, really hard one. But I made the decision at the time to do the right thing and show up, support my team, be ready to play in case Tommy got hurt, and support him in every way that I could, even though personally it was hard. I had to put the team ahead of myself. But thankfully, by doing that, I allowed myself other opportunities. I got to go play for the Buffalo Bills for a few years. And after that, I got to go play for the Dallas Cowboys for a few years. And just had some amazing experiences because I had handled things the right way. And because I handled things the right way, I helped our team win a world championship that year. Unfortunately, Tommy was the guy on the field when we won the championship, but he was nice enough to sprain his ankle in the AFC championship game, though, so I at least got to play a little bit. But that's a great question, Devon. Thank you for that.
Hi, my name is Mia Chamal Valle. I'm from Taravera Troop 100. I have a question for you. What was your favorite moment on the football field? Was it scary? Were you happy? Did you lose? Were people mean to you? Did you win? Tell me.
All right, so Mia, that's a great question. Favorite moment on the football field? Man, there were a lot of good ones. And thankfully, I'm getting kind of old now, so I only remember the good ones these days. But there were a lot of good ones. One of them was in college. We were playing our big rival. It was the Apple Cup. It was Washington versus Washington State, playing at Pullman, and we played in a driving snowstorm. It snowed 8 inches during the game. The Huskies were ranked like number 4, number 5 in the country. We were ranked below that, but we knocked them off. We beat them that year in the snow. And after the game, all the students rushed onto the field and carried me around, and we had a snowball fight and the whole thing. It was a great, great experience, and probably still to this day one of my all-time favorite experiences on a football field. But thanks for the question. It's fun.
Hey, Drew. My name's Benny Zito from Troop 249 in Richland, Washington. You've been very successful throughout your life through business and through football, and I'm sure you've learned a lot of lessons along the way. I was wondering what your take on is of the idea that discipline equals freedom. So discipline of self equals more freedom for yourself. Thank you.
Well, Benny, that's a really, really good question. Does discipline equal freedom? In a lot of ways it does. And one example that I'll give you that I tried to do when I was in school, but as you approach school, for example, if you're disciplined about how you use your time in school, whether that's high school or college, you treat school, and if you're going to college, you treat school like it's your job. You get up in the morning at 8, and you work at school all the way until 4 in the afternoon, and you can generally get everything done. And then by having that discipline, then you have freedom to do what you want to in the evening, whether you want to go play some basketball or go for a run or just hang out with your friends. If you're disciplined about how you use your time, then you do end up with more freedom at the end of the day. Discipline in our business. What does that mean in our business? If we're disciplined in how we do things in our business and execute things at a high level, then we have the freedom to enjoy ourselves after the fact and enjoy literally the fruits of our labor once things are done. But it's a great question, man. Appreciate it.
Hey Drew, my name is Matthew DeForest. I'm a Boy Scout in Troop 190 in Richland, Washington. I wanted to ask you a question about leadership. When you let go of your leadership role, was it easy? Was it hard? Were you relieved? How do you feel? Thank you.
You know, Matthew, that's an interesting question. When I let go of my leadership role, how did it feel? Well, to be honest with you, I think once you're a leader, you never really stop. You know, after I left football, I actually coached high school football for 6 years, which was an amazing experience. So I got to help lead in that area. And then with our business, I'm still leading our business and trying to guide our business the best I can. You know, and then I'm a dad. I mean, shoot, what's a more important leadership role in the world than being a good dad and trying to lead your family? So you never really, leave that. Once you become a leader, and as you guys as scouts, you will always be leaders in your life. It just may change arenas, but the things that you do that allow you to be a leader, those never really leave. And those are things that can be impactful on the people around you for the rest of your life. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Such a pleasure. Really hope to be with you in person at some point in the near future. Cheers. Bye.